Good morning, children. I welcome you all once again for this video class. And today we are in part 3 of lesson 1 of history. And the title of our lesson is Sources of Medieval India. In the first part, we studied about the introductory part of medieval India. And in the second part, we studied about the primary sources of medieval India. And in the final third part, we are going to study about the secondary sources of medieval India. So, in the primary source, we studied about the available materials regarding the medieval period. And in the secondary source, it contains the written materials. Okay. So, primary source contains available materials. Okay. That is monuments, coins and all, they were excavated materials. Secondary sources contains written materials. Okay. So in the secondary sources, we are going to study, focus upon all the written things that were uh, that contains informations regarding the medieval India. Okay, so the first part is religious literature. Okay, in the secondary source, the first part is religious literature. So, what is meant by religious? It denotes worship. Okay, worship of God. So, literature means written books. Okay, written books, written things in book format. We call it literature. So, religious literature means books, written books that gives informations about God and worship. Okay. So, the devotion means worship, worshipping God. So, there was a movement of devotion started in India, and more specifically, it was started in South India and later it spread into North India. Okay. That movement is called Bhakti movement or devotional movement. So during this movement, many literary books were written. Religious literary books were written. Okay. And the Chola period in South India, they they promoted worship, okay, religious activities. And during this period, many religious books were written, and some of them were mentioned in your screen. Okay, so what are they? Ramayanam. Okay, you could have heard about this book, epic. Okay, so the epic Ramayanam, which was written by author Kambar. Then Periya Pranam, written by Shekilar. Okay, then Nalayira Divya Prabandham, which was written by 12 Alvars. And this book, Divya Prabandham, was compiled by Nadamuni. Okay, so we have to identify two important things. One is the composer, other one is compiler. Okay, composer is the author who writes the book. Okay, compiler means who arranges the book. Okay, so that it becomes a one uh, one big book. Okay, one compiled book. So Nalayira Divya Prabandham was compiled by Nadamuni. Okay, then Devaram. Devaram was composed, that is written by Appar, Samandar and Sundarar, and it was compiled by Nambiyandar Nambi. And finally, Tiruvasagam was uh, composed by Manika Vasagar. So these are some of the religious books that gives informations regarding the medieval period in India. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is secular literature. Okay, secular is exactly opposite to religious. Religious depends upon worship. Okay, secular means it is common, not about worship, not regarding God. Okay, it is common written things. They comes under secular. For example, books written about the life of kings or the life society of people. Okay, culture, any other informations apart from God comes under secular literature. Okay, there were two important poems written by Ganga Devi and Krishna Deva Raya. The poem written by Ganga Devi is called Madhura Vijayam, and the poem written by Krishna Deva Raya is named as Amuktala Malyata. So these two poems gives informations regarding the Vijayanagar Empire. The events happened during the Vijayanagar Empire. The informations were given by these two poems. And another book named Prithviraj Raso, which was written by Chand Bardai. Okay, so this book, Prithviraj Raso, gives informations about the Rajput king's valor. Okay, valor means their authority, their strength, okay, their power, how they defeated their enemies. Those informations were written in the book called Prithviraj Raso, which was written by Chand Bardai. So that also gives informations about the medieval period in India. Okay, now let's move on to the next section, that is books, biographies, and autobiographies. You all know what are books. Okay, written records. Okay, so what is meant by biographies? If any author writes about somebody else, it is called biographies. Autobiographies means anybody writes about themselves, it is called autobiographies. Okay, so anybody write any book regarding about somebody else, it is called biographies. Somebody writing about themselves, we called autobiography. Okay, the name of the book is Tabakat-e Nasiri. Okay, so the book Tabakat-e Nasiri, it was written by Minhaj as Siraj. Minhaj as Siraj. Okay, so this book, it gives informations about the famous king called Muhammad Ghori. Okay, so is the Muhammad Ghori is the first Muslim invader into India. Okay, so this book Tabagat-e Nasiri gives informations about the king Ghori who came and conquered India. Okay, so the next book name is Tajur Masir. Tajur Masir, which was written by Hassan Nizami. Okay, so this book gives informations about the sultans who conquered the Delhi, northern part of India, by a famous king called Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, so the book Tajur Masir, which was written by Hassan Nizami, gives informations about the first Sultan of Delhi named Qutbuddin Aibak. Okay, and the third book, Task-e Jahangir. Okay, it was a book which was written in memory of King Jahangir. Okay, it was written in memory of King Jahangir, which gives lot of informations about the 17th century. That is the year from 1600 to 1700. Events, important events happened in the medieval times in India. Okay, now we move into the final topic of our lesson 1, that is travelers and travelogues. So what is travelogue? It is books written by the travelers. Okay. So travelers, while they travel, they record events happening in their journey. Okay. So those records are called travelogues. Okay. And in this travelers and travelogue, we are going to study about three important travelers. Okay. First one is Marco Polo. Okay. So Marco Polo, he belonged to the 13th century. He was a Venetian traveler. Venetian traveler. Venetian means a person who belongs to a city called Venice. Venice is a city in a country, Italy, in Europe. So Marco Polo, he was an European traveler from a country, Italy, in the city Venice. So we call him Venetian traveler. So he traveled to Asia. Okay, from Europe, he traveled to Asia, and nearly about 24 years he was in Asia, and majority of his life he spent in China. For 17 years he stayed in China. Okay, so while traveling, he took along with him his family also. So he traveled with his whole family. Okay, so this traveler Marco Polo, uh, he came to Asia and he visited China. After visiting China, he came to India. More specifically, he came to southern part of India, that is Tamil Nadu. Okay, the port city of Kayal. Today it is called Thuthukudi. Okay, Thuthukudi. He visited. Okay, so when he came to Thuthukudi, he saw the port of Thuthukudi with full of many ships. Okay, many ships from China and Arabia. So trade was very much active in Thuthukudi during the medieval period. Okay, and also he saw thousands of horses were imported to South India from Arabia and Persia through sea route. Okay, so thousands of horses were imported. Imported means bought. Okay, bought into southern India through ships from Arabia and Persia. So these are the informations given by Marco Polo, the traveler, regarding the medieval period in India. Now let's move on to the second traveler. His name is Al Biruni. He is the 11th century traveler, that is from 1000 AD to 1099 AD. Okay, so uh, Al Biruni, he was basically from Afghanistan. Okay, he was an Afghanistani. So the Afghanistan king named Muhammad Ghazni, he many times came to invaded India and he plundered the valuable goods from India. Several times he came to India. So in one of his campaign, in one of his invade, okay, Al Biruni also came along with Ghazni. So Ghazni plundered the valuable things and he went away. But Al Biruni, he stayed in India itself for 10 years. Okay, and he learnt Sanskrit and philosophy about India. Okay, and he wrote a book named Tahik-i-Hind. Tahik-i-Hind. So, in this book, he gave informations about the systems, practices of India, the social life of Indians, and the religion worshipped in India. So these informations recorded in his books gives informations about the life of people who lived in the medieval period. Okay, now let's move on to the third traveler. The name of the traveler is Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta. He was an Arab born Moroccan scholar. Okay, so actually his native is from Arab. He was a Arab man, but he was born in Morocco. Morocco is a North African country. It is a North African country. He belonged to 14th century, that is from 1300 AD to 1399 AD. Okay, so the book written by Ibn Battuta is named Rihla. Rihla means the travels. Okay, so his book, travel book, it is called Travelogue, is named Rihla, meaning the travels, and it contains informations about the places he visited, the countries he visited, and the people he met. Okay, so he gave informations about many countries, and more specifically, he traveled from Morocco. He came to Asia through Egypt. So when he passed through Egypt, he saw Egypt was a very rich country because all the Indian trade passed through Egypt into Western countries. So any trade into Western countries, they pass through Egypt. So they have to pay tax to Egypt. Okay, Western countries, all the European countries, they have to pay tax to Egypt because their goods pass through their country. So Egypt was a very rich country during his travel. Okay, so when Ibn Battuta visited India, he saw the caste system and sati system practiced in India. So what is the caste system? Higher caste, lower caste system. The people of higher class, they dominated people belonging to lower caste. Slavery was practiced. Okay, low caste people, they were treated as slaves. They were not given proper respect in the society. They were considered as animals. Higher class people, they were given great honor. They enjoyed life. They did not do any hard works. Only they controlled the low class people. Okay. And also sati system was practiced in India. What is sati system? That is, if a husband dies, wife also have to die along with the husband. Okay. And more specifically, they set fire on wife. Okay. Along with the dead body of husband, they set fire on the wife live. And Ibn Battuta, he also gives informations about the Sultan, the King Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and the city Delhi. So when he visited Delhi, it was a very luxurious city with all available facilities. Okay, it was a very rich city, but the King Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he shifted his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Okay, so finally the city became as a desert. Okay, because the king transferred the capital, the rich city, luxurious city, finally became a desert. Okay, so these are the travel logs, travelers' written records that gives informations about the life of medieval India. Okay, and there are other travelers also. Okay, the Niccolo Conti from Italy. Okay, he traveled during 1420. And another traveler, Domingo Pace, from Portuguese, he traveled during the year 1522. And one more traveler named Abdur Razzaq. Okay, he came to Central Asia. Okay, finally, some of the important words, foreign words that gives informations. Okay, tabakat. Tabakat is a Arabic word meaning generations or centuries. Okay, then tusk. Tusk is a Persian word meaning autobiography. That is somebody writing about themselves. And finally, Tariq or Taqik. It is also another Arabic word meaning history. Okay. So with this, our lesson 1 of history completes. Okay, children. I hope you all understood the lesson. Okay, in the Zoom class, I will clarify your doubts. Okay, we'll meet in the next class. See you all.